So right now, it's the start of November. We are 10 weeks out from the Houston Marathon. So training is going to adjust a little bit. We've been focusing on Hyrox for the last 10 weeks. We're back to do a little bit of testing. Obviously, we're moving into our marathon phase now. The volume of actual hours that I'm going to be training is going to be the same. I've been doing roughly a 20 to 25 hour training week every single week now for the last 10 weeks, building up into numerous Hyroxes that I've competed in. That volume isn't going to change for the marathon training. It's going to be the same, it's just going to be different. So instead of doing a lot of skiing intervals, rowing intervals, building up the volume on the bike, we're going to be focusing more on running specific work. So I thought we'd come over here to do a little bit of lactate testing to work out our paces, where we're currently at and where we need to be.
What is the importance of doing lactate threshold testing?
Yeah, so you hear this kind of phrase knocked around quite a lot, the phrase of threshold training and training within your threshold. And essentially this is completing part of your training at a hard but controlled pace. And now you can go off feel for this. You can work it out quite simply by going for a max effort run, and whatever pace you hold for 1 hour, that's roughly around the pace that is your threshold. That's kind of like the simple way of doing it, but we can get scientific with it, and we can actually test how much oxygen you're using, uptaking, and the point at where we turn anaerobic. And as soon as we go anaerobic, we will not be able to hold that pace for the duration that we need to. So essentially, I'm not the best at kind of like explaining this, but essentially LT1, which is lactate threshold 1, which is the point where lactate starts to accumulate within our blood. So you'll be doing, for example, you'll be doing an easy run, and that'll be nice and easy, and lactate will be getting removed from the blood as quick as it's being put into the blood. As soon as the point, if you start increasing your speed, as soon as the point goes where the lactate cannot be removed as fast as it's increasing, this is LT1. So that's that sharp point. Then we move into LT2. Now LT2 is the point where our body starts to turn anaerobic, and this is a higher level from that LT1. And this effectively gives us, if you look at the LT1, get the data for that, and then you look at the LT2, you then have a training zone, which is your lactate threshold. Now, if you train within this zone, you're going to get fitter. Some people would say if you push more towards your LT2, you're going to build a different type of fitness than if you was to stay at LT1, but that's kind of like the rule, and that's like, in simple terms, you're going to improve fitness if you work in that threshold. So we've come to test to find out them figures, and we need to see where we're at right now, and then where we need to be in 10 weeks for us to be able to run the marathon at the pace that we need to. Now, with the test that we're doing,
so we put from this capillary blood, we put 20 microliters in this capillary, and put it into the solution, and then we test it in this machine.
I know that I'm not fit enough right now, but I understand that we've got just over 9 weeks to use this data and then get better and do everything that we can with the advice from the professionals. You start off at a really easy pace. It'll just be faster than walking, so a slight jog, and you will run for 3 minutes at that pace, and then you'll hop off the side of the treadmill, and then someone will come and they'll get a blood sample from your ear normally, and then they'll put it in a machine and it'll show them how much lactate is in the blood.
Let's go.
And then you jump back on at a slightly faster pace, and you probably go up in 1.5 kilometer increments, and you basically keep repeating this process. So 3 minutes on, 30 seconds off. In the 30 seconds, you're getting your blood tested and your lactate tested, and then you keep repeating that until you can't run any faster.
Yeah, so this is the movement analysis portion of it. To save on time, we combined it. So normally we would do this separately, different speeds.
And what does it show?
So the first screen is pressure, so it's basically a pressure sensor, and it looks at pressure distribution under the foot. And then the other screen, that's the motion analysis system, the camera system giving us a 3D pose of the body to see running form, running technique, and we then combine them to get a better understanding of his running technique.
2, 1, and jump out. So, Jen, how was the stage? So now 70.
How's it feeling?
3:30. 2, 1, let's go.
Yeah, good. Just running at 3:30 pace now, per kilometre.
Our 18.5 k per hour, which is 3:15 pace per k. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and yeah. How was the stage?
Tough.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So for sure you have to finish the 20 and then we will
3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah? Would be great. So 3 minutes pace. 2, 1, and push. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and jump back. How do you feel, Jack?
5 minutes long.
Do you think you can start the 21.5?
For how long?
How long you can? Or do you like to do a ramp instead after 8-minute break?
I just haven't had go today.
Yeah. Or stop now.
Sorry?
Or stop now.
Just go now. Let's go.
Okay. And let's go. Yeah, as long as possible. Yep, so we start straight into the straight to 1.5.
So we did the test and the results came back, and my LT2, funnily enough, is the pace that I need to run the marathon at. So it's between 18.2 and 18.5 kilometers per hour, and that means that I can run that right now for roughly a half marathon. They say you could go at that pace for anywhere between 60 minutes and 75 minutes. So essentially a half marathon. Now, I've got some work to do because I've got to double that. So I got a lot of questions asked about how do you balance still training hard and dieting and being in a deficit to drop weight. And in my opinion, the answer is performance always comes first. So at the end of the day, if you want to be an athlete, you've got to perform within your training. If you don't perform within your training, you're leaving gains on the table. So preparing for a session with your diet is super important, and recovering from a session straight away is super important. It's like, wow. Good. Okay. Physio session done there, manual therapy. Feel a little bit better after that. Next, we've got a training session, a strength training session, and I think we're going to go through progressions because since I got injured and slipped a couple of discs in my back, I've not been loading properly. So I've not been loading the spine. I had a checkup with the doctor. The last time I saw him was when I slipped my discs just after World Champs, and he was actually amazed with the progress. He actually said, I'm fixed. We just need to work on hip mobility. So I've just been taught some hip drills just to strengthen our end range in both internal and external rotation, because right now I still don't back squat, I still don't load the spine at all, I still don't do any rotation at the spine or the core. Everything that I do is trying to keep the spine as still as possible so it can recover. Now, I've given it time, and now it's time to get back moving like a functional human being. So, just finished our, I'd say strength session, but it was just a session going through how we can progress hip mobility and strengthen the hips, and then how we can strengthen the lower back. Pretty interesting, really. You know, splitting up each individual aspect of what both the hip and the back does. So, you know, splitting up the hip into internal and external rotation and working at end ranges and strengthening at end ranges, but then also with the back, you know, not just working in a shortened position or a brace position, working each vertebrae and making sure that the muscles around are strong, because that's what's going to prevent injury. And if we prevent injury, then we'll be able to be healthier and do more volume with the important shit. So like, this is the boring stuff to make us be able to do more of the other stuff, whether it's running, whether it's Hyrox work, whether it's, you know, the squats, the lunges, all that. To progress that and to be healthy in that needs the small stuff and the finer details. So we just covered a little bit of that. So obviously we're training for this marathon, but we still want to keep taking over on the Hyrox stuff. So a great workout that we did this week was the ski and row workout. EMOM style, so every minute on the minute. Minute 1 is going to be 20 calories on the ski erg. minute 2 is going to be 20 calories on the row. We're going to do that for 10 minutes, then we're going to have 3 minutes break, and then we're going to repeat that 3 times through. Round 1 done, 10 minutes, we've got 3 minutes rest now, and then we've got 2 more of them. For that one, I managed to do 20 calories on each, but I feel like I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've bit off more than I can chew. I think I'm gonna drop it down a little bit. We'll see, 18, 19 calories on each, I think. So we finished the intervals. For the first 10-minute EMOM, I managed 20 calories on each the ski and the row, and then the second 2 10-minute EMOMs, so rounds 2 and 3, managed to 18 on each, which was tough. So I've got room to improve, a lot of room to improve on the ergs, but that was good. Hit the stimulus, what we needed. Heart rate in the rounds was between kind of 160 and 175, so that's kind of our threshold. So yeah, I'm gonna finish off with 2k row, just nice and chilled, and then we'll grab some breakfast. So, part of our warm-up done. It's Friday morning, 7 AM. It's freezing. we're just about to do a track session. So we've got 20 by 400 meters, and we're going to be having around 30 to 40 seconds rest in between. Aiming a pace that's faster than our marathon pace, quite faster actually. I think we're going to be aiming for anywhere between 70 seconds and 75 seconds per 400 meter. Yeah, we'll see how we do. So the plan now, I'm just going to change it into my speedwork shoes, so carbon plated shoes. We're going to do some drills, and then we're going to get straight into it. But this is session 1 of today, Friday the 7th of November. Let's do it. Just finished my 6th one. So, yeah, quite a lot to go yet. .258 pace for that one. So we're keeping all pretty consistent. That's the aim of this session. You know, don't go out too hot. Keep every effort the same. And if you feel good towards the end, then you build up and you get faster. But yeah. So we're 12 reps in. Again, keeping them all between 258 per kilometre pace and 302 per kilometre pace, which is around a 70-second lap. So since the last time we did this session, massive improvement, but that's to be expected. Shit. So, coming into our final effort, our last one now. It's been a good session though. Alright for a Friday morning. You know, feeling good, feeling fresh. Body's feeling good. Get it done. Last one. Oh. So get my breath back. So the track session is complete. We managed all the paces around a 3-minute K. Do you know, there was quite a few 258s, there's quite a few kind of like 302s, so all in all pretty happy. Obviously running around a 400 metre track, that's around 70 seconds per lap, 40 seconds rest, so you know, we're ticking the boxes, we're getting it done. To be fair, when it's like this in the morning, obviously it looks foggy and it looks like gloomy and stuff, but it's actually pretty peaceful. And yeah, sick. Love training like this. Just reminds me of Manchester. But yeah, aim now. We'll just get some clothes on, and then we'll do 2 kilometers worn down, probably the opposite way around, and then that's us done for the first session. We'll head to the APC. Yeah, there's 10 things that I want to improve, but like you say, focus on 3.
Yeah.
Maintain everything else, and then
put those 3 on maintenance and find those next few goals, and probably that's a much more successful approach.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, it's been good. It's been really cool. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
So, just 10k easy done, nice and chilled. 4:30 pace, so 45 minutes. Heart rate I think was around 139, 140, 1% incline. Yeah, just getting the miles in, increasing the volume for the week. Yeah, pretty good. So it's time to eat. So that's over 20 kilometers run today. Plus strength session. I think we might have one more session after, and then that's us done for the week. Solid training week. It's been tough, but that's what we're here for. We're here to learn, and we're here to put in the training. I'm excited for the day off.
What would you say has been the biggest thing this week that you found out that might help somebody else that's training for a marathon?
First of all, don't neglect your niggles and your minor injuries. Like, running is tough, and it's tough on the body. If you get, a sore calf, or your foot hurts when you're running, address it. Don't just ignore it. Don't just run through the pain. There's so much advice out there that people are just man up, run through it. It's not the case. Like, address it, otherwise it will bring you to a halt further down the line. There are so many other ways you can get that aerobic work in. You don't have to do all your aerobic work running. I know you're training for a marathon, and it's going to be most beneficial to do most of your stuff running, but if you're a little bit heavier, like myself, I think you can still get a lot out of cycling, basically cross training. So the elliptical, cycling, Stairmaster to an extent, and maybe ski and row. Like, you can still build your aerobic fitness. So for someone that is training for a marathon, like, use them as tools when they're needed. I feel more determined than ever. I think this week has opened my eyes up that I need to get locked in, and I need to go even more all in on this goal than I've ever done in the past. With diet, with training, with recovery. Like, if I take my eyes off any of it, I'm not achieving this goal.